Nathan Schulthefne Wagonebeck. It had been 20 years since he last saw the house, since his family packed up and left without explanation. They never talked about it. His parents refused to answer his questions, and over time, he stopped asking. But he never forgot the house on Ridgeway Road. The house with the blackened windows. The house where the air always smelled of rotting wood. The house where, as a child, he was never alone, even when he was the only one inside. His mother had died 2 weeks ago. Sorting through her belongings, Nathan found something strange, a key. Rusty, old, and familiar. His childhood home's key. Something about it gnawed at him, a whisper in the back of his mind. So, out of curiosity, or maybe something deeper, he drove back to Ridgeway Road. But when he got there, the house was gone. Or rather, it had never been there at all. There was no sign of it, no foundation, no ruins. Just an empty lot overgrown besweets. Nathan frowned. He was certain this was the place. The old oak tree was still there, the rusted street lamp at the corner, the cracked sidewalk he used to ride his bike over. He turned to an elderly woman walking by. "Excuse me," he called. "There used to be a house here, right?" She gave him a puzzled look. "No, dear. There's never been a house here. Not in my lifetime." Nathan felt his stomach drop. That wasn't possible. He had lived there, hadn't he? Confused, Nathan went to the town records office. "I'm looking for records of a house that used to be at 43 Ridgeway Road." The clerk, a tired-looking man in his 50s, raised an eyebrow. "There's number 43 Ridgeway Road. That lot's been empty since the town was founded." Nathan's Hans tightened into fists. That didn't make sense. "Can you check Anive?" The clerk sighed, typed into the computer, then frowned. "That's strange." Nathan leaned in. "What?" There was a request to erase records of something at that address. "But the files are locked. I don't have access." "Who does?" Nathan asked. The man hesitated. "No one. The clearance level doesn't exist in our system." Nathan's skin crawled. Something was very wrong. And yet, he still had the key. If the house had never existed, why did the key feel so familiar in his hand? That night, he went back to Ridgeway Road. To the empty lot. And that's when he saw it. A door. Standing alone in the middle of the overgrown grass. Old, rotting, vapid with time. And Nathan knew. It was his house's front door. He shouldn't have done it. But his hand moved before he could think. He slid the key into the lock. The door creaked open. And suddenly, the house was there. Whole. Unchanged. The blackened windows, the paling blue paint, signal tres looming around it. Nathan's breath hitched. It had never been demolished. It had been waiting. His heart pounded as he stepped inside. Dust kurze wooden floor. The walls were cracked, wallpaper peeling in long, curled strips. But it was the same. The same hallway. The same stairs leading up to his old room. The same door at the end of the hall, the one that had always been locked. Nathan had never known what was inside. But as a child, He had heard things behind it. Scraping, whispers, the sound of breathing. His parents had always told him, never open that door. But they weren't here now. Slowly, he reached out and turned the handle. The door creaked open, and Nathan saw himself, or something that looked like him. It was standing in the corner of a small, dark room, grinning. But its smile was wrong. Too wide. Too many teeth. Its eyes weren't human. Nathan starkeret weg. Who, what are you? His own voice came back at him, but warped hollow. I was waiting for you. Then it stepped forward, and the walls shook. Nathan turned to run, but the door slammed shut. He pounded on it, screaming, but the wood bent and twisted like flesh. The thing behind him laughed. You should have never come back. Nathan turned, and it rushed at him. Days later, the town police received an anonymous call. There's a car parked by the empty lot on Ridgeway Road. It's been there for days. They arrived to find Nathan's car. The driver's door was open. The keys were still in the ignition. But there was no sign of Nathan. Officially, he was listed as missing. But late at night, some say you can still hear someone screaming from the empty lot. A voice that sounds exactly like Nathan's. And if you look at the right time, on the right night, you might just see the door. Standing alone. Waiting for someone else to open it.